Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Azam Khan. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. 4 people have been injured, 3 seriously, in a North Point fire classified as arson. 1 person has been arrested after 2 workers died underground, apparently from inhaling toxic gas. And in Iraq, a fire at a wedding claims more than 100 lives. 4 people have been injured, 3 of them seriously, in a fire at a subdivided unit in North Point. The case has been classified as arson. Janice Lowe reports.
Police were alerted at around 3 a.m. after a fire broke out in a subdivided unit in North Point. 4 residents of Ying Wong House on Kings Road were sent to hospital. 3 of them were unconscious when they were rushed to Eastern and Rutunji hospitals. They were admitted to the intensive care unit, with 1 of them suffering from burns on the body. This man, who was injured, said thick smoke prevented him from opening the door. I had to climb out of the window to call police, he said. Firefighters deployed a jet and a breathing apparatus team and doused the blaze in about 30 minutes. The fire was classified as arson after accelerants were found on the premises. An investigation into the cause of the blaze continued, with dozens of officers returning to the scene to hunt for clues. Janice Lowe, HKIBC.
A 62-year-old subcontractor has been detained following the deaths of 2 workers who were repairing pipelines underground in West Kowloon last weekend.
We have arrested 1 contractor. For the time being, we arrest him for OSH-related offenses. But actually, we are actively investigating the case, and we will not rule out the possibility that we will further arrest him for other offenses, including manslaughter.
Sources said the man is the owner of the subcontractor Shum Development Limited. He has been reported missing after 2 workers died from suspected methane gas poisoning. They were supposed to have completed their work on Saturday evening, but were found dead the next day. A 3-year-old girl is reported to have taken the drug ice by mistake. Staff at Princess Margaret Hospital alerted police after the toddler felt unwell. She was admitted to hospital. Sources said traces of the drug were found in the girl's urine. This case has been classified as abuse or neglect of a child, but no arrests have been made. Financial Secretary Paul Chan has returned from his European tour, saying Hong Kong has to expand proactively and develop a circle of friends to deal with global uncertainties.
Currently, the geopolitical environment is still challenging. But what is important is that given this challenging political situation, we still need to proactively reach out and engage and to find a common ground. During this trip, the business sector has been very forthcoming. And indeed, they agree with us the special role that Hong Kong can play. They do recognize GBA, Greater Bay Area, mainland, and the Asia market is the future of economic growth. So they are very keen to come to this part of the world to find opportunities. And they do need to look for partners. So in summary, we are of the view that we have achieved our objective.
Chan and his delegation promoted Hong Kong when they met European business leaders and sounded them out on cooperation. On a separate issue, the financial chief was asked if the special stamp duties imposed on property transactions will be removed. Chan said the property sector remains largely stable and the authorities will review the issue pragmatically. An electricity and water shortage has been reported at the Wan Chai waterfront promenade on the day it launched a night market under the Night Vibes Hong Kong campaign. about 100 vendors selling food and accessories arrived during the day to set up stalls, but there were problems with water and power supplies. The event coordinator said the promenade was not designed for large events, and Hong Kong Electric is helping to solve the shortage. Meanwhile, the Wine and Dine Festival is set to return next month after 5-year suspension. The 4-day gala at the Central Harbor Front starts on October 26th and will feature 300 stalls from 36 countries. Overseas, at least 110 people were killed when a fire ripped through a wedding in northern Iraq. Initial reports suggest that the deadly blaze was caused by fireworks. What was supposed to be an evening of celebration ended in a nightmare for about 1,000 people at a wedding in northern Iraq. More than 100 guests were killed when a fire broke out at a Christian wedding in Hamdaniya, just outside the city of Mosul. As rescue workers toiled through the night, trying to find survivors, more than 150 people were admitted to hospital. The victims were given oxygen as the anxious families huddled in hallways in shock. It was not clear if the bride and groom were among the casualties. This witness said just before the newlyweds were about to dance, organizers lit fireworks which hit the ceiling, causing the fire. Authorities said the gathering had a lot of highly flammable cladding that are illegal. Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani ordered an investigation and mobilized the Interior and Health Ministries to provide relief. But for many of the families who lost loved ones, no relief can bring comfort. The Speaker of the Canadian Parliament has caved into public pressure and resigned for inviting a man linked to the Nazis to a special session.
I reiterate my profound regret for my error in recognizing an individual in the House during the joint address to Parliament of President Zelensky. That public recognition has caused pain to individuals and communities, including the Jewish community in Canada and around the world, in addition to survivors of Nazi atrocities in Poland, among other nations.
The man was brought down. The speaker was 98-year-old Yaroslav Hanka. He was given a standing ovation at the session last Friday when Rhoda called him a hero. It emerged that Hanka had served with a notorious Ukrainian Nazi brigade which fought the Russians during the Second World War. More than 100 teenagers have looted shops in the U.S. city of Philadelphia. This followed a peaceful protest after a court dropped charges against a policeman who shot and killed a motorist.
This had nothing to do with the protest. What we had tonight was a bunch of criminal opportunists take advantage of a situation and make an attempt to destroy our city. At this point, we're investigating that there is possibly a caravan of a number of different vehicles that were going from location to location. Right now, we have a couple of those individuals in custody.
Police reinforced security in the city center after the looting spree. An Apple store was among the businesses that were ransacked. Police chased the looters who dropped smartphones and other gadgets as they fled. Hollywood writers have won a new deal after a months-long strike, and now actors are hoping that they too will succeed in their dispute with the major studios.
And I think there's a tremendous sense of relief, but also knowing that we have a lot of work to do and that this is a 3-year interim agreement. There's still a lot to do, but I think it's very important that we all get back to work. With a fair deal. And the actors are still on strike.
The Writers Guild went on strike in early May to demand better pay and conditions. Although they are returning to work, filming cannot resume until actors also get a new agreement. There are further signs that China's economy is stabilizing, with industrial profits jumping 17.2% last month from a year earlier. It was the first increase in a year and comes after a decline of 6.7% in July. For the first 8 months of the year, major industrial firms made a profit of 4.7 trillion yuan, down 11.7% from the same period last year. The earnings rebound in August suggests improved demand in the wake of measures to boost the property sector and consumer spending. The gain in China's industrial profit boosted the Hong Kong stock market. The Hang Seng Index rebounded from a 10-month low after gaining 0.8%. Investors went bargain hunting, but they remained cautious ahead of the National Day and Mid-Autumn Festival holidays. With the winter flu season round the corner, pharmaceutical companies were among the major gainers, but Evergrande slumped 19% on reports that the chairman of the indebted developer has been put under police surveillance. Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index closed up 145 points. Top 10 active stocks, Tencent was up $2, and AIA Insurance up $2.40. Alibaba was up 55 cents, JD.com up $1.10. On to the weather now. Cloudy day with some showers tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 27 and 31 degrees. The sun will shine more over the weekend. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Wednesday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Azam Khan. Thanks for watching. Good night.